family, and you don't realize the latitude that that man has provided for me to do the things that I've managed to do to keep our dad whole. When my mother died, my dad was broken. He lost his wife 30 days before my mom died. We run a small business. We were crushed. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to turn. We had nothing. It was crazy. And we both worked through it, and we supported it. And he's allowed me to have helped my dad and help my family in times of need. He cut me the slack. He gave me the resources. He's always stood by me. And my friend Isaac, who I met when my mother passed, he stepped up. Isaac's a religious man. I'm not. We don't. That's fine. People aren't the same. When you look at a garden, every flower's different, man. It doesn't matter your siblings. Every flower's different. It doesn't matter. It's all good. That's what life's about. Isaac cherished my family. He stepped up. He helped me. And my father was broken and he needed to reinvent himself. Isaac ran a place called the Biker Church and later changed it to Cycles. My dad wanted a motorcycle. At 71 years old after my mom died, my dad wanted a motorcycle. I said, there's no freaking way, Dad. You can't do that. And he cried himself to sleep every night for months. And my wife and I had him in our home, and we had babies. And I didn't know what to do. And one day I said to him, why do you want a motorcycle, Dad? Why? And he said, because I need to make friends now, too. And it crushed me. So I set it on a mission to try and figure out how to scratch that itch. And I don't know if you've noticed here, that's a picture of my father's trike. My brother Gary taught me about show bikes and show cars and turned me on. It's a big piece of who I am, and that's my brother's influence on me, along with my music. My dad got this amazing trike at 71 years old and learned how to ride. It wasn't smooth. He crashed it. He dragged me down the street hanging onto the handlebar trying to get his hand off the throttle one day. He crashed it. He fixed it. In October, he decided to take a motorcycle course on little dirt bikes with guys that were 20. And this 71-year-old man crashing that bike again and again and again. And he got up and he kicked that goddamn thing. And I sat in the bushes, and he never knew this, and I sat in the bushes and I watched him crash and fall and crash. And they said, sir, don't worry, you don't need to do that. And he said, yes, I do. And he came to my home that night and Saturday, and he had blisters and scratched and bruised, and he was bleeding. And I said, Dad, don't. And he goes, no. And I said, what's the problem? And I told him, and I took him out on my bike, and we worked it out. That motorcycle allowed him to reinvent himself. He met Monica. He became this new person. My motorcycle friends at the time and my motorcycle community, my friends, welcomed my father in. They let him invent himself. He drove all over the United States on that bike, and he had an amazing time. And it made him regroup and rethink that his life was not over. The life with my mother was honorable to the day she died. And then he started a new life because he just kept going. He got it done. He's instilled that in me more than I can explain to anybody. Shit goes bad. Nothing goes the way you want it. It don't matter. We're still here. We get it done. Be good to each other. Be kind. Get through it. I was able through music to connect. The Tanners are my mother's side of the family. I don't know a lot of the Tanners. I didn't know them growing up. We didn't know this sort of thing. Within 2 weeks, I met more Tanners than I ever met in 2 weeks of my life. Michelle, who's here today, her father was Jack Tanner. And I was on stage one night, and she would come on stage, and I was teasing her and flirting with her and having a good time. We were mocking it up. And unbeknownst to me, the next day I find out she's my cousin. So, Billy's, baby! You know what that's like, Mark. So we laughed and we had a good time, and we decided that we were going to reconnect our parents together. So I was very fortunate, and I know Michelle and her family feels the same, that we managed to reconnect my father with Uncle Jack, and they had a ball. Several months after, they had a party, and unfortunately Jack got a death sentence. And that day, they sat in the basement at his house, and my father got obliterated. Jack says to him, what are you drinking, Mike? He says, scotch. He said, I don't have any scotch. How about bourbon? He says, yeah. And he goes, here's your bottle, Mike. And he plunked like 2/3 of a 40-pounder down, Gentleman Jack, and they sat and they drank. Remember that? They drank the whole freaking bottle. We came in later, they're laughing, pissed to the gunnels. I'm going, what am I going to do? We carried him out by his belt loop like this. He's all all the way to the truck. I threw him in the truck. It was a Sunday. I tried to sober him up. I brought him home to Monty. I said, he's really drunk. I went into the bathroom. He got up. He fell, smashed his head. There's a picture in there of him with peas on his head going. He had a ball. Those moments are the moments I cherish. My 50th, my father sat at a table with all my friends and my music and partied. And he said, hey, Mr. Chessman, you want a joint? And he goes, yeah. And they threw him a great big bag of reefer. And they go, roll it. Thinking, Dad can't cut it. Dad rolled a freaking Cheech and Chong blunt the size of my thumb. And he proceeded to spark it. And we sat at the table talking. And he smoked. And he smoked. And he smoked. And finally one of my friends says, we're going to pass the fuck. He had smoked everybody that night. He had drank everybody that night. My wedding, he did the same thing. My friend Morris is here. I've known him 30 years. He drank. He had a good time at all my special events. He was always in my life. He's always been supportive of me, especially with music. And this comes back to this guitar and this instrument. My brother Gary turned me on to music when I was very young. I was fortunate. I have childhood memories of riding around in his cars with Creedence Clearwater blasting. And I used to he built me a chopper when I was young. And I used to play Creedence Clearwater on that, and I'd ride that fucking bike like I was Easy Rider, man. And it turned me on to music, and it turned me on to cars and hot rods. And music has been something that's special to me. My brothers and Casey have all touched on my father, who he was. I think everybody here knows who he was that way. But for me personally, music has been good to me. Music has given me a life. It's given me a network of people I never thought I would have. And friends. I've had friends here that I've known since I was 4 years old. They're still in my life on a regular basis because of music I talk to them. When I was in high school, Patrick said my father recognized he was good in school. My mother and father recognized in me that I wasn't. So they nurtured me musically. I learned how to play George Thurman. I learned how George Thurman on the Scratch Giant Show. And I learned how to play. I was bad. I thought I could really learn that. I used to jam with Marty. I used to jam with Tanya. And my father at some point sat with my mother and they said, look, Michael's not going to go anywhere. This one we're writing off. And he co-signed for a loan for me. Now that these last 3 months have been hell on me. They've been really hard. All the legal, all the stuff that I go through in the post that life of 88 years now is mind-blowing. If you've ever been an executive, or anybody asks you to, say no. It's not a badge of honor. It's not something that means anything more. It's a shitty job and it's hard on everybody. I had a special relationship with my father. I lost my father 20 years ago when my mom died. I watched him broken, I watched him sick, I watched him cry every night. That's not something anybody should ever have to watch a parent do, let alone a son look at his father. It killed me. As he reinvented himself, I reinvented my relationship with my dad and became my friend. He became friends with my friends. And they welcomed him that way. And it was very, very good that I had nothing to whine about my father's death. Man, this guy partied, he lived, he did well. There's nothing to whine about. So many people I've had so many people that tell me things about their relationships with their parents, and I'm golden. I'm golden. I love it. I couldn't have done any better. It was just awesome for me. My father signed that loan for me at music, and I bought a van, and off I went. I went on the road, and I was very fortunate that I met some people very young in my career that taught me how to be a working musician. And I did. I went out, I played Cyndi Lauper, I played Prince. I stood there in spandex with my tiny little nuts hanging in those freaking things. And I had funny hair, and I did my job, and I learned how to soldier because I knew how to do the job. It's not, and Mark will attest to this, it's not fame, it's a freaking job. You go out, you do your job, you earn your money, it's a paycheck. And I was fortunate, I've done this since I was 18 years old, professional. And it's been good to me. I have friends in my life. My work colleagues are music friends. It's just come full circle for me. When we were in Las Vegas, my father got a death sentence again. It's bad enough he never ever complained about his cancer once. Ever, never. They cut his head off 4 times. And I mean, like, they cut him open. Bad. He never complained. They cut his head off, and 8 hours out of surgery, he goes, give me a coffee. Where can we get a coffee? I'm my father's son. I see it. I see it in the pictures. I see it in the photos. I see it in now my aging hands. They're crooked. They're starting to turn like my dad. I inherited his bad intestines. I inherited his wonky eye. And I'm thankful for all of it because it's all good and it came from that man and he was always good to me. When we were in Las Vegas, it was a death sentence and I took him to see my aunt, Dolores. For those of you in my family that know, my Aunt Dolores and my Aunt June. We wouldn't have this home. My family wouldn't have had this home without my Aunt June. My Aunt June lent my father the money, a mortgage, to buy this home because they couldn't get an apartment. We couldn't get nothing. The kids, nobody would rent it. We were fortunate to get this home, and it's been an amazing home. The families, the legacy, all our kids, all our grandkids. We've all done well. Every one of us. Everybody's doing good. My father believed in generational wealth. And I don't mean getting rich. I mean, did you do better than the one before? Did you try? Did you have an opportunity to do that? I know Zoran shares this with me. Huge. Family's everything. And pulling your family up is what you're supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to be. My father was like that. He believed, he tried. And again, Patrick nailed this right on the head. He never said he couldn't do anything. I've done shit that I never thought I would do it. He joined me like he knew what he was doing. He didn't know shit. He just wanted me to do it. And it was great because sooner or later I did it. Dave will attest to that to me. We've done things for world-class bands. We blow shit up. We blow up the biggest bands in the world. We didn't know what we were doing, but we went, yeah, we'll make that. Yeah, shit. And then we dealt with it, and we got it done. So my father instilled that in me. When he got a death sentence again, this was lung cancer, it was time to take him to go visit Dolores and make closure with that. So I said, I'll go with you, Dad. Let's go to Las Vegas. So off we flew to Las Vegas, and it was sad for me. It was hard because I'm trying to come to grips with the fact that, man, he's going to die. He's going to die. I let him stay with Dolores for a few days, and I hung out around Vegas, and I met some friends from our motorcycle community that I met down there, and Mike Duda, he's now dead as well. My dad outlived him. And we hung out. And then when it was all said and done, we said, I rented a convertible, a black Camaro convertible. And we packed that sucker, and there's a very famous picture. Any of my friends that know me on Facebook know this picture. That's a snapshot, a moment in time. We were stuck in traffic going to Arizona, and I had a selfie stick with a GoPro on it. This picture, I've had DJs across Ontario that know me on Facebook and go, I followed your journey the entire time you did that. It was like the dream I never had with my dad. I didn't realize that when I was doing this. This wasn't meant to do this. This is just something I felt I needed to do for my dad. But it's turned into be something so poignant to me. It's turned into something that was so important to him. Monica has attested to that. I need to thank Monica on behalf of all my family and all our neighbors. Without Monica, my father would have rotted away and died. It's just that simple. There's no, well, maybe not. He was dying. He was fading. And Monica instilled in him a breath of fresh air, something that he could attach himself to and move on. Monica's a saint. Monica's done things for my family and my father. He wouldn't have been here. And right up to the end, she was his companion and his girlfriend for 17 years. And I owe her a debt of gratitude I can never pay back. My business partner, when my mom died, his wife died. 5 months. She got a death sentence. We didn't know it at the time. She was gone in 5 months. A lot of what I do with kids, I've done mentor groups for kids. I've been in my kids' life at schools forever, and I've done it. Kathy instilled that in me, and she was gone. It was right before Christmas. Warren Zevon wrote an album. He was dying at the time, and he wrote this album. Dave's a Warren Zevon fan. Kathy bought him this album, and she passed away. And that was his Christmas present, and he opened it. And then my mother died. And he played this song over and over and over while he was dealing with this grief. And it got entrenched in my head. Since then, it's been part of me and my legacy. I have played this song at my father-in-law's funeral for Donna. I played this for Corey, whose sisters have passed. And I honestly think throughout my network of people, I've exposed people to this song. And it's something that's meaningful. The words. Just listen to the words. If I can get through it, I'll try, I promise. Listen to the words. My buddy Mark's been playing music as long as I have, as long as we have, and he never heard this song before. And I said, can you help me today? I'm going to struggle, I know it. And he listened to it and he went, oh my God, I never heard this song. The reason I want to play this song when we were going through, it's really important to me, and it's got this depth to it. We were driving through, so picture this. We're in a freaking black convertible Camaro. We're driving down Route 66, man. It's legendary. We're on Route 66, man. Nat King Cole, get your kicks on routes. My dad's sucking cigars back. We're whipping. We're doing 140 kilometers. We're passing Harleys like a joke. He's laughing. Woof, woof. We're stopping at biker joints all the way through the desert. We're going all through Arizona. We get through. We're making our way to the Grand Canyon. So we were staying at the Grand Canyon that night. We drove all day. It was a long day. The sun was hot. It was beating the shit out of us. We were tired. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening. And as you go into the Grand Canyon, it turns into the pines. And it's just rows and rows of pine trees, and needles are all on the ground. And there's that smell in the air of pines, and it's dry. And we're driving up, and the sun's going down. It's getting calm now. And this song was on my playlist, and it comes on the radio. I look over, and I see my dad, and he's going, and he's tapping his hand, and I'm going, he's digging that song. Wow, that song's huge. And I go, you like that song, Dad? He goes, yeah. Keep in mind, my dad just got another death sentence. This is what he's grappling with. And he hears this song. And he's digging it. I know it's speaking to him. I know it's something that he's going, wow, that's me, that's who I am. I knew at that moment that when he died, I would sing that song for him. I tried to do it when we cremated him, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I was too broken. I feel that way now. I bet you only get one chance to try something. My dad said, you always try. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up. But you can't go back and try it. You got one shot to do it. So I want to sing this song. My brother said something at his daughter's wedding. And no offense, but it's the smartest thing you ever said in your life. It's the only thing that I'll say that you is the smartest thing on that level. And it's fucking wise, and it's real, and it was heartfelt. And he stared out at a giant crowd after his wife had passed. He looked out at all the people, and I use this all the time because it's real. I play thousands of shows. I play with different people all the time, and we look out, and we kind of take it for granted a lot of times because it's our job. That's what we do. We go and we yuck it up, and we get people to drink, and we try to show them a good time. And he looked out at that crowd, and he said, I want every one of you to look at the person beside you today. I want you to look at them and remember it, because this group of people will probably never, ever be in a room together like this again. You'll never see it. It's sad, but it's true. We don't all get together like this, and we just don't. We say, yeah, we'll get together, and we do it, and we don't. With COVID, it's been brutal. Nobody sees anybody, and everybody's broken. It's hard. So I want everybody to look around, because this is sort of a legacy of my father. It's grandkids, it's children, it's extensions of his kids. It's friends, it's family. Kevin Eskins. I've known Kevin since grade 9. We're good friends. We played music. I love Kevin. Kevin phoned me when my dad died. And he said, I want to tell you something. He said, out of all my friends, your dad is the only one that ever knew my name. He always knew my name. He always talked to me. That was my dad. It was fucking unreal. And I don't mean to swear, but it was unreal. And my dad, I hear so many stories of people telling me these things. I want to sing this song because I have to do this for my father. I want to thank everybody for coming, man. This was a last minute thing, and I know it's hard. Everybody's got plans and people. I thank you for this. I'm going to try and get through this, and I'm going to lean on my buddy Mark if I crack to make it sound good, but I'm going to try this. This is a little song called Keep Me in Your Heart for a While. Listen to those words. They mean something. They really do, man.
God, this mic.
Shadows are falling and I'm running out of breath. Leave me in your heart for a while. If I leave you, it doesn't mean I love Keep me in your heart for a while. When you get up in the morning and you hear that crazy sun, keep me in your heart for a while. There's a train leaving nightly, and when all is said and done, keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sometimes when you're doing simple things around the house, think of me, maybe you'll smile. 'Cause you know I'm tied to you like the buttons on your blouse. Keep me in your heart for a while. Hold me in your thoughts, take me to your dreams, touch me as I fall into view. When the winter comes, keep the fires lit, and I'll be right next to you. Engine drivers headed north to Pleasant Street, keep me in your heart for a while. Well, these wheels keep on turning, but they're running out of steam. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Take my dad for a little ride, would you? Help me sing. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Sha la 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 la. Keep me in your heart for a while. Keep me in your heart for a while. Love you, Bob. Oh, brutal. Brutal.